You're watching TAG TV. You're watching TAG TV.
Hello and welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a program that talks about breeding of terrorism and its impact on South Asian nations. Let's begin with the headlines first. Indian Prime Minister calls terrorism a threat to humanity. UN report confirms Taliban's association with Pakistan-based terror outfits. Ex-Pakistan Army personnel's post on social media reveals Pakistan's allegiance to terrorism. And FATF slams Pakistan for not complying with anti-terror action plan. Pakistan's state-sponsored terrorism has been causing excessive damage to countries in South Asia, especially India. Despite repeated warnings, Islamabad continues to promote and aid terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir and in rest of India. Irritated by notorious activities of its neighbour, India has raised the issue of terrorism several times on various international forums. This week, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations in separate statements at two different prestigious international summits. We bring you a report. Holding its position firm on anti-terrorism policy, Government of India never skips a chance to raise this issue at global summits. The executive leaders of G20 countries have gathered in Japan's Osaka city to discuss various international issues, including trade, economy and climate change. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi held rounds of bilateral meetings with the leaders of United States, Saudi Arabia and South Korea to discuss mutual cooperation and development. Also, an informal meeting of the BRICS nations was conducted on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Osaka with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Chinese President Xi Jinping in attendance. Addressing the BRICS nations, Prime Minister Modi said that terrorism is the biggest threat to humanity, which not only kills innocents but also severely affects the economic development and social stability of a nation.
आतंकवाद सारी मानवता के लिए सबसे बड़ा खतरा है। यह निर्दोषों की जान तो लेता ही है, आर्थिक प्रगति और सामाजिक स्थिरता पर बहुत बुरा असर भी डालता है। हमें आतंकवाद और जातिवाद को समर्थन और सहायता के सभी रास्ते बंद करने होंगे।
Complementing India's stand on terrorism, other BRICS countries also came out to condemn terrorism and the use of internet to spread this venom around the world.
All the BRICS countries have condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. It has reiterated the responsibility for preventing financing of terrorism, for using territories for terrorist purposes, for exploitation of the internet for terrorist purposes, and to eliminate their ability to use digital platforms to recruit people, to train people, to raise finances and so on.
In a separate leaders summit which was held as part of UK-India Week, Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar slammed Pakistan for sponsoring large-scale industry of terrorism which prevents its government from behaving like a normal neighbour. Holding Pakistan responsible for disrupting peace in South Asia, the minister further added that this kind of large-scale industry of terrorism, which is done with the blessing of the state, because the state thinks it is an instrument against the neighbour. It is increasingly unacceptable to India, and more countries are coming around to that view. A lot of the problem today is whether Pakistan is prepared to behave as a normal country and as a normal neighbour. No country in the world today will have an industry geared towards committing acts of terror. Furthering India's position on terrorism, S. Jaishankar asserted that the Indian government hopes for a stronger global consensus over this issue so that Pakistan can be pressurized and persuaded to do the right thing. While Indian leaders have engaged themselves in diplomatic discussions to attack terrorism through words, Indian security forces have achieved major success in recent years. That includes killing as many as 733 terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir since 2016.
This has been a very, very successful operation and very neat and clean operation in which 4 militants have been utilized. All 4 of them are IS inspired militants who were commanded by Shaukat Ahmed Bhatt of the same area. He was a militant who was earlier working with Hizbul Mujahideen and was active since 2015.
According to the Indian government, the year 2018 saw the most number of killings in Jammu and Kashmir as security forces killed 257 terrorists, which was followed by killing of 213 terrorists in 2017 and 150 in 2016. A latest report by the United Nations has revealed Pakistan's evil ploy against Afghanistan, wherein the Pakistan-born terror outfits are aiding Taliban to grow stronger in the region. The UN report exposes Pakistan's double standards on Afghanistan as Al-Qaeda and Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Pakistan-aided terrorist groups, have become close allies of Taliban and are facilitating them with recruitment and financial support activities. Here's a report.
Since the launch of war against terror by the United States in Afghanistan, the Taliban remains unbeatable. A recent report which has been circulated among UN Security Council members states that Afghan Taliban retains strong links with Al-Qaeda, the Haqqani network, Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Islamic Movement of Uzbekistan and East Turkestan Islamic Movement, as well as nearly 20 other regionally and globally terror-focused groups.
You know, there are 2 types of Islamic militants operating in the Islamic world. Both were, created in Pakistan. One is Taliban, which is basically based on liberal Islamic ideology, and the other is, which is prevalent in South Asia and Central Asia. The other one is Al-Qaeda, which is based on basically on Hanbali school of thought, which is very extremist, which is Wahhabi Salafi. So these are the 2 different types. Hanafi school student belonging to Muslim belonging to Hanafi school, they join the madrasas of Taliban, and the Arabs who are recruited for Al-Qaeda, they belong to Hanbali school of thought. So that's how they have collected students. And the ideological differences between the 2 is now very thin. Earlier, yes, there was a lot of differences between the 2, but now it has come down to very small differences, coming closer to the Hanbali, more extremist views. So all these, if you look at the Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar-e-Taiba, Haqqani network or many other, they belong to the same category of madrasas, either Hanbali or you would find Hanafi.
The United Nations report specifically mentions 2 of the most dangerous terrorist groups which have their links with the Taliban. Al-Qaeda being the one which is intensifying its concentration in the Afghan-Pakistan border area in close cooperation with Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Haqqani network. The second name includes Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba that plays a key role in providing recruits and funding to the Taliban and other terrorist groups operating in Afghanistan. The Lashkar-e-Toiba, which was founded by Hafiz Saeed, has an extensive network of camps, madrasas and other facilities in Pakistan that are operated by front organizations such as Jamaat-ud-Dawa. The Afghan and US officials have repeatedly called out Lashkar-e-Toiba for targeting foreign forces in Afghanistan.
They continue to breed extremism, radicalism in Pakistan, not only in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, even in Central Asia. These organizations, they have different networks which are operating. The same groups, are also operating the same type of the mullahs which come out from these madrasas. They go for tabligh or preaching in Central Asian republics or in Arab countries. So the whole idea is to Talibanize the whole Islamic society. It's a war on liberal Islam. It's a war on Hanafi Islam as well. Because they want only one Islamic ideology, that is Wahhabi Salafi, based on extremist views, should continue. So that is how they are operating. And in fact, these the leaders of these groups, they are basically warlords. They have been operating in the name of Islam, in the name of religion. But if you look at their character, they are warlords, and they are recruiting people which are given funds.
According to the UN, Afghan officials count approximately 240 Al-Qaeda members, with the most significant numbers located in Badakhshan, Kunar and Zabul provinces. Al-Qaeda's cadre leaders and mentors are also frequently reported to be active in Helmand and Kandahar. The UN report has relayed manpower estimates for Al-Qaeda and various other groups. The report indicates that there are approximately 8,000 to 10,000 foreign terrorist fighters in Afghanistan. This figure includes roughly 2,500 to 4,000 jihadists loyal to the Islamic State, while the rest are broadly aligned with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Echoing its previous report, the UN said Al-Qaeda continues to see Afghanistan as a safe haven for its leadership based on its long-standing strong relationship with the Taliban. Al-Qaeda leaders Ayman al-Zawahiri, Hamza bin Laden and the Taliban leadership have repeatedly emphasized the importance of the alliance between the two groups. The report also provides details of links between terror groups in Pakistan and Afghanistan and warns that in return for safe havens and the ability to pursue their own business, foreign fighters continue to operate under the authority of the Taliban in multiple Afghan provinces at undiminished levels. The Taliban and Al-Qaeda allied groups discussed in the UN's report operate throughout the region and globally. They are not currently confined to Afghanistan. FDD's Long War Journal assesses that it is highly unlikely that these groups will curtail their activities when and if Western forces depart Afghanistan.
The blatant lies fanned across by Pakistan officials to cover up presence of Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit and its chief Masood Azhar in Pakistan lost wind after a former Pakistan Army serviceman posted a video on social networking site revealing his account on strategized induction of youth in terror outfits by Pakistan Army. Through his hard-hitting social media post, he also made reference to successful Balakot airstrike on Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfits by Indian Air Force, which Pakistan officials have tried to refute several times in the past. A report.
हमें निकाल दिया गया जिहाद पे वो बालाकोट में जैश मोहम्मद का वहाँ पे मतलब उनका ट्रेनिंग सेंटर होता था दहशतगर्दों का।
Pakistan was completely taken off guard when one of its residents uploaded a live video on social networking site Facebook revealing some ill-lit details on how the country has been encouraging, supporting, funding and spreading terrorism across the world.
हमें निकाल दिया गया जिहाद पे वो बालाकोट में जैश मोहम्मद का वहाँ पे मतलब उनका ट्रेनिंग सेंटर होता था दहशतगर्दों का और मैंने वहाँ पे देखा वहाँ पे 7 आर्मी वाले मौजूद होते थे। मुझे वहाँ पे जाके पता चला कि ये सारा आर्मी ही ऑर्गेनाइज कर रही है, वहाँ से ट्रेनिंग देके फिर उनको इंडिया से निकालना, इधर उधर सारा एक्सपोर्ट करना पूरा इनको दहशतगर्दों को। बाद में अबू वहाँ पे आए, अरे तेरी माँ मर रही है, घर वापस आ जा, तेरे सारे बहन भाई रो रो के पागल हो रहे हैं घर। मैंने कहा नहीं, मैं जिहाद पे जाऊँगा, हाँ जिहाद करना। सब कुछ छोड़ के अपनी लाइफ को बर्बाद किया। 5 साल मेरी जिंदगी के इस टेररिज्म के अंदर बर्बाद हो गए।
Rana Javed, the Pakistani national, uploaded the 40-second long video and soon committed suicide after video went viral on the social networking site. Rana, who had served in Pakistan Army and Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist organization, explained how the Pakistan Army was instigating the youth of Pakistan to join terror outfits operating on their soil. Through his hard-hitting Facebook post, he also mentioned the successful Balakot airstrike carried out by the Indian Air Force on Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfits that rules out Pakistan officials' claim of no Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfits operating in Pakistan.
Pakistani army uses youth in two kinds of operations. One is certain number of Pakistani soldiers, either from the Pakistani army or from the special forces of Pakistani army, are told to opt for a tenure of 2 years to 3 years to act as terrorists, get into India and carry out terrorist actions either in India or in Afghanistan or in Iran. They are actually soldiers for a period of 2 to 3 years. They are shown to be out of army, they carry out act, it's like a contract, and after 2 to 3 years, if they come back, then they get promotion and then they get awards for having carried out terrorist activity. So one are the soldiers who are serving presently in Pakistani army. Second are the soldiers who have retired from the Pakistani army but retain the capability of being a good soldier. So they are also inducted as terrorists into these three countries, including India, to carry out terror attacks.
While national media in connivance with Pakistan government tried to cover up the leak on social network, another post by a human rights activist claimed the presence of UN blacklisted terrorist Masood Azhar in Pakistan. The human rights worker from Quetta, Ahsan ul Hamia Khail, has alleged in his post that the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar was undergoing treatment at the military hospital in Rawalpindi, where a huge explosion took place last Sunday.
The presence of terrorists in Pakistan is a well-known thing. Only thing is, because of penetration of social media among the masses in Pakistan, a proof like terrorists being treated in Pakistani army's cantonments in their hospitals is coming out. There was not only one such social post, but that there were many posts which have come on the Twitter, which have come on the Facebook, which showed explosion having taken place in a Pakistan hospital, which shows a crowd that is gathered outside the hospital, which shows some injured people being moving around. So what has come out in the social media is a very well-known thing, that Pakistan is recruiting terrorists, training them, motivating them and helping them to infiltrate into India or into Afghanistan or into Iran.
Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar was listed as a global terrorist by the UN Security Council soon after the horrific terror attack against Indian security forces in Pulwama carried out by the Pakistan-based terror outfit. Pakistan officials have stayed in complete denial to the presence of Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar in Rawalpindi city of Pakistan. However, the social media posts and claims made by the residents provide enough evidences of lies Pakistan administration has been fanning worldwide.
A latest plenary meeting of Financial Action Task Force, which had assembled to decide on Pakistan's grey listing, concluded on the note that Pakistan has failed to complete its action plan on terror financing, making the country prone to getting blacklisted in FATF. The terror funding watchdog has come down heavily on Pakistan and its lack of compliance with the 26-point action plan prepared for Islamabad to demonstrate its sincerity in fighting terrorism. We bring you a report.
The latest meeting of Financial Action Task Force has left Pakistan baffled as Marshal Billingsley, the president of FATF, slammed the country for its lackadaisical attitude towards countering terrorism. Condemning Pakistan's failure in curbing terror financing, Marshal Billingsley said that Pakistan is lacking in almost every aspect of the action plan. They missed all milestones and there is absolutely a possibility they could be put on the blacklist. A decision on this would be taken in the future plenary meeting of October 2019.
Pakistan was supposed to take action on 27 points, which included action against Hafiz Saeed, Lakfi, Masood Azhar, as well as terror financing, money laundering, etc., Hawala. But out of the 27 points that were listed out by the FATF, Pakistan has acted only on 2. They have not acted on 25. So in the last meeting that was held in the United States, Pakistan has been categorically told that if it wants to be out of that list, it has to take action against those points. In October, the final meeting will take place in Paris, where it is likely that Pakistan to be transferred from the grey list to blacklist. And should that happen, Pakistan's economic difficulties will increase by an order of magnitude.
In the recent meeting, FATF came out with the outcome of the deliberations in Orlando, where Pakistan was put in the dock. It observed that Pakistan has failed to complete its action plan on terror financing and warned Islamabad to meet its commitment by October or face action. FATF has repeatedly asked Pakistan to work on implementing its 10-point action plan to address its strategic deficiencies, which includes demonstrating its proper understanding of the terror financing risk posed by the terrorist groups and demonstrating that facilities and services owned or controlled by designated person are deprived of the resources and the usage of the resources.
Out of 27 boxes, in 25 areas Pakistan has not been compliant. This has been again, I think, publicly flagged, and it is just that there is also a political dimension, and because of certain countries that are more supportive of Pakistan, the global consensus about Pakistan has been in a way firewalled, whether it's China, Malaysia, Turkey and so on. But this particular issue will, I think, move again to Paris in October. But there again, there's a very interesting political development, which is that China is likely to become the chair of the FATF. And we are aware of the kind of support that China has been providing to Pakistan. It's unfortunate that Pakistan is unable to bring its compliance on par, but at the same time, it's also an indication of the reality in Pakistan that the state, particularly the military in Rawalpindi, is so invested and dependent on the terror groups. And this has also permeated the domestic politics of Pakistan. I think that is the dangerous part.
China, which describes itself as Pakistan's iron brother ally, is set to assume the presidency of FATF in July 2019, and it remains to be seen if it will be as hard-nosed as the US, the outgoing chair, in getting Pakistan to comply with the action plan. If at all Pakistan is seeking to escape its chances of getting blacklisted in FATF, then the country must be asked to meet its commitments to FATF to talk funding to terror groups instead of complaining that other countries are politicizing the watchdog's processes.
Launching a major crackdown against foreign-based terrorists, the Special Task Force of India's Kolkata police arrested 4 operatives of an ISIS-affiliated terror outfit at 2 railway junctions. The accused Bangladeshi terrorists are members of Neo-Jamaat-ul-Mujahideen, who had taken shelter in India to escape arrests in their country. A report.
Acting on a reliable tip-off, India's Kolkata Police Special Task Force arrested 4 Neo-Jamaat-ul-Mujahideen Bangladesh operatives from Kolkata. The terror group is an ISIS affiliate which orchestrated the Holy Artisan Bakery attack in Dhaka. Muhammad Jiarur Rahman, Mamunur Rashid and Muhammad Sahin Alam, 3 Bangladeshi nationals arrested by the Indian STF, were active on social media propagating their agenda. Following the arrests, a lot of digital documents, videos and audio files along with jihadi booklets were recovered from their possession. The name of JMB had surfaced during the Khagragar bomb blast in Bardhaman in October 2014, and the charge sheet filed by investigating agencies reveals that Jamaatul Mujahideen was planning to overthrow the Bangladesh government.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We will be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at nwsa@anin.com. This is Surbhi Sharma signing off on the behalf of entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.